You need to be pro-facts. You need to go with the facts and information that you have available. And also, if you have a level of expertise, use your common sense and expertise.
Because when you look on his video down in the description, he doesn't have any sources linked or anything like that. So no one can go and check, even though he's encouraging people to do their own research. You think with someone that was saying that they only are bringing the facts and they want people to do their own research would at least have a couple links to things more than just their merchandise. Hey, what's up, guys? So after watching the tragic video of Ahmaud Arbery's death and hearing about it on the news, I started loosely following the case. I live just outside of Savannah, Georgia, about an hour away from where it took place, so it hit kind of close to home for me. I got into a couple of online discussions with people about the facts in the case, in which they pointed me to someone who did a video on it named the Officer Tatum. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at his video and seeing what we do agree with and what we don't agree with. This is Inspiring Inquiry. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start around the 1 minute and 14 second mark. Before this, he just talks about how he's a police officer and how he wants to bring just the facts and everything. So we'll see about that. I do have it on 1.5 speed. That way it doesn't take quite so long, but I am going to be kind of skipping around. That way we're not listening to everything. And I'm just going to be addressing the points that I disagree with and then maybe a couple that I agree with.
So let's start from the top. Was Ahmaud Arbery just jogging through a community to get exercise as any person in America would do in a reasonable sense? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is no unequivocal evidence that he was jogging through the community. There's no video evidence, and there's no witness testimony that that's what he was doing. The only person that says that Ahmaud Arbery was jogging, unfortunately, he can't give the statement, but his mom believed that he was in a community jogging. Video evidence have surfaced.
Okay, so I do agree with him on this. Just because his mom believes that's what he was doing doesn't mean that it's actually so. We do need more people to verify that, so I do agree with him.
A lot of people are rejecting it, but it's evidence, it's video, it's going to be in a court testimony at some point. So instead of the jogging scenario, which has been debunked, video evidence shows Ahmaud Arbery walking down this residential street. He walks up to a house that is not occupied. This is not a construction site like people would envision, where there's just a frame on a house and there's no real construction. This is nearly a fully built house that happened to have been renovated and nobody's living there, so it's unoccupied. So the image in people's minds have been that this is a construction site on just frames and it's an open area. That's not what it is. This is a legit house. Now,
so later on in the video, he shows the 7-second video that shows someone being in the house and looking around, someone that they believe to be Ahmaud Arbery. So you can see for yourself what the house actually looks like and make the decision for yourself.
You can see on the video that has been presented that Ahmaud Arbery is walking through the community. He stops in front of the house. He looks both ways to see if anybody's watching him or can see him. And he does a small...
Okay, so when he says it right there that he looks both ways to see if anybody's watching him or can see him, that's his opinion. He doesn't have any proof that that's what he was doing. He's just making a speculation there.
Sprint into the driveway, and then he walks into the house through the garage. Now, initially, the video that I'm referring to, you can't tell if he's inside the house or just in the garage at this point in time. But a few minutes later or so, he comes walking out and re-enters the house at another location. Now, there's other video that has surfaced of him actually in the house. I've only seen 7 seconds of it, although he was in the house for almost...
So this is what the house looks like. So you guys can choose for yourself. What do you believe? Does this look like a legit house, or does this look like a house that's under construction, like what he was saying that people would have envisioned in their mind?
Although he was in the house for almost 3 minutes. Now, there's no evidence to rule out if he had actually taken something, attempted to take something or not, based on the 7-second video. However, according to Georgia law, if a person enters a dwelling with the intent to commit a felony or theft, that person is responsible for first-degree burglary. First-degree burglary in Georgia law is a felony. So as Mr. Arbery is going into the residence, he's looking around. A reasonable person will believe he's not looking around because he's trying to figure out where he wants to put his brand new couch. A reasonable person will believe that he's looking around because he's trying to look for something. Now, look for something in a house that does not belong to you sounds like you have intent to grab something, take something, which is theft. Now, a person walks out of the house.
So this is speculation here as well. So when he says that a reasonable person would believe that he's looking around to look for something, this is speculation. This is not proven. We don't know why he was looking around. So for someone that says that they are only bringing the facts, he's giving a lot of opinion here. That's not a fact. He doesn't know why he was looking around. So a reasonable person would withhold belief until they have evidence and know why someone was looking around.
And witnesses Mr. Arbery in the house. They walk out and shouts at him, which this has been confirmed from an independent source that I know who live in the area. They yell at.
Okay, so right here he says that this person comes out and shouts at him. Now he's confirmed this by an independent source. Well, the problem with that is that we don't know this source. We just kind of have to take him at his word for it, and he purports to only bring the facts. We don't know who his source is, whether or not they're credible. Were they a witness? How close to the area do they live? Where did they get this information? We have a lot of questions, and we just kind of have to take him at his word that it's been verified.
At him, and then he bolts out of the house and he's running and is visible on the camera, which is a surveillance camera of a house across the street. Now, there is a 911 call provided by Gregory McMichael, and on that 911 call, they're explaining that they visibly see Mr. Arbery currently in an unoccupied structure, and that while they're on the 911 call, they see him running out of the occupied structure, and then they give chase, according to all the documents that I've read. Now,
I don't know what documents that he's referring to here, because none of the documents that I read said that they know who the first caller was. Some do say that they are assuming that George McMichael made the second 911 call that day. There was two 911 calls. There was one at 1:08 and there was one at 1:14. The one at 1:14 is the one where he's saying, "Stop, damn it, Travis." So we're not exactly sure who made that 911 call. Let's go and see what the news has to say about who made that call. All right, so this is Fox 5 News in Atlanta. I'm not going to listen to the whole clip, but I just wanted to listen to a portion of the call and then them say who they got the 911 call from so we can go and look at what they say.
I just need to know what he was doing wrong. Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be?
Stuff on it, and he's been caught on the camera a bunch before at night.
The 911 call obtained by TMZ reveals the moments leading up to the killing.
Okay, so they said that they obtained the 911 call from TMZ. Let's go see what TMZ had to say about who made those 911 calls. Okay, so right here you can see where it says, moments before Ahmaud Arbery was shot, someone called 911 claiming they'd seen a young man running down the street after allegedly looking into a house under construction. So they're saying that it was someone. Go down to the next one, and it says, it's unclear who the male caller is, but he said that he was watching a black male in a white t-shirt looking into the home. So they're saying that they don't know who made the first call, and these are the ones who obtained it. If we come down here, we can take a look, and it says who made the second call. A second call was made by 911, apparently by George McMichael, the father of Travis McMichael, the man who confronted Ahmaud with a shotgun. The elder McMichael was out of breath during the call and told operator there was a black male running down the street. So they're saying that the first call was made by someone. They're not sure who, it's unclear. And they're saying that the second call was the one that was made by Gregory McMichael. This is important because Officer Tatum just claimed that Gregory McMichael made the first call in which someone said that they seen him in the house. This is key. Now let's go to the New York Times and see what they have to say about who made the call. Okay, so right here it says, in a recording of a 911 call which appears to have been made moments before the chase began, a neighbor told the dispatcher that a black man was inside the house that was under construction on the McMichaels block. During the chase, the McMichaels yelled, "Stop, stop, we want to talk to you." So this is saying that a neighbor made the call to 911 saying that they saw a black man inside of a house. Well, those are just news sources. Let's go to the police report and see what it has to say. Okay, so according to the police report written by Officer J. Brandenberry, he says, on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020, I responded to the intersection of Satilla Drive. Let's go down here to where it's important. Upon my arrival, I observed Officer Minshew setting up a perimeter. I began speaking with Gregory McMichael, who was a witness to the incident. McMichael stated there have been several break-ins in the neighborhood, and further, the suspect was caught on surveillance video. McMichael stated he was in his front yard and saw the suspect from the break-ins hauling ass down Satilla Drive toward Beerford Drive. Okay, this is important because Mr. English, the owner of the house that was under construction, said that he didn't even find out until 20 minutes later that anybody had even been in the house. So he didn't share that footage with anybody, and he actually went to say, or his lawyer went to say, that he hadn't shared any of that information with the McMichaels whatsoever. So according to 3 different news sites and the police report, it is not saying that Gregory McMichael was the one who made that 911 call. So like I said, I don't know what documents he's saying that he's looked at. Nothing I've seen says that Gregory McMichael made that first 911 call. Let's continue.
According to Georgia law, if you witness a person or you have firsthand knowledge, or they say immediate knowledge of a crime and it's a felony, you can pursue and conduct a citizen's arrest. And an arrest, if people don't understand what that term means, that means that you are able to grab a person, detain a person where they cannot leave. That is considered an arrest. So Georgia law gives Greg and Travis McMichael lawful reason or lawful ability to conduct a citizen's arrest on Mr. Arbery, who they've witnessed commit a crime. Now,
but there's no evidence that they witnessed him commit that crime.
They give chase to Mr. Arbery. The video picks up, well, we've all seen the horrible video of him running down a residential street, and you can see the pickup truck with Travis McMichael and his father, Greg McMichael, in the back seat, and you see a video, not the back seat, but the bed of the truck, and you see a video recording them. The person in the video recording is also a neighbor who's recording the incident. On the video footage, you can see Arbery running on the left side of the road. It's a 2-lane road, and there's the painted line in the middle.
Right here, he says that he was just a neighbor recording this. In the police report, it also says that Gregory McMichael and Travis McMichael went to go and try and stop him. And then they said that Roddy, which is the name of the person who recorded that video, also tried to cut him off. So it sounds like he was a little bit more than just the person who recorded the video. But that's according to the police report and what they got from Gregory McMichael.
He's running on the left side of the road. The McMichael's truck is on the right side of the road, not crossing the double lines. And Travis McMichael is out of the truck with a shotgun in his hand, standing on the left side of the road, which is the same side that Mr. Arbery is running on. Now, let's talk about the possession or carrying of a gun to a citizen's arrest. Now, according to Georgia law, the McMichaels are within the constitutional rights and the open carry laws of Georgia to possess and also put guns in their vehicle whenever they travel. And just because you are traveling to conduct a citizen's arrest or whatever the case may be, does not negate your constitutional right to open carry. Now, when they get out of the car with a shotgun, which is a long gun or shotgun according to Georgia law, they have a right to open carry that gun. That does not necessitate or does not indicate an immediate use of force, because they have a legitimate right by law to carry that gun. Not saying it's right or wrong or whatever the case may be, but they have that right. Mr. Arbery is running down the street. He rounds to the opposite side of the road. He goes around the McMichael's truck, and now he's in a physical altercation at the front of the truck with Travis McMichael, fighting for a shotgun.
What he omitted from the video right here, or what he omitted saying about the video right here, is he explains everything that Mr. Arbery does. But what he left out was what Travis McMichael did. He was standing by his front driver's side door. It goes out of frame, and then when it comes back, he's moved around to the front of the truck closer to Ahmaud Arbery. Now, Ahmaud Arbery went to the right. In the video, it shows him going the opposite direction of where Travis McMichael was. Travis McMichael, in fact, went around the front of the truck towards Mr. Arbery.
Now, there is the law that pertains to self-defense. Both McMichael and Arbery, at this point, have a reasonable expectation of self-defense as they're fighting for a weapon. If Arbery he had no duty to retreat. If he believed that they were conducting an illegal citizen's arrest, which is kind of hard to believe since he ran from the residence that he was potentially burglarizing.
This is another thing that he is just inserting his opinion right here. He's saying that it's kind of hard to believe seeing how he ran. That is not a fact about the case. That doesn't show that he did anything guilty or anything wrong. We don't know why he ran, and we don't have access to his thoughts to know whether or not he thought that it was an unlawful citizen's arrest. According to the evidence that we've seen so far, they didn't witness him commit the crime, so it was, from what I've seen, it was an unlawful citizen's arrest attempt.
But regardless of that, if he believes that they are unjustifiably arresting him, he don't have a duty to retreat. He don't have a duty to run. He can run straight down the street, and if he's confronted, he can use his self-defense to pull the gun away from McMichael. Also, Travis McMichael, if a suspect is running, you're trying to conduct a citizen's arrest, and that suspect circles behind you and runs at you and fights you for a gun, you have a right to defend yourself.
See, I'm not very comfortable with the way that he's framing this by saying that Ahmaud Arbery went to run around back behind him, because when it came back into view, both of them were standing in front of the truck. So that means that Travis McMichael had to turn from where he was and start walking towards Mr. Arbery to be on the front side of that truck. So it doesn't seem like he was coming up from behind him whatsoever, but he said that he was.
By using deadly force. Now, I believe, and I'm not here to make a judgment because they will find out in court who's right and who's wrong in this. The information that I'm giving is rooted in the facts. I've seen the video, I've heard the 911 calls, and I want people that are watching this to do your research. Look it up. I am not here to tell you who's guilty and who's not guilty. I'm just here to tell you what the information is and what Georgia law is and how it is articulated in the performance of a citizen's arrest, and also Mr. Arbery's running or jogging, what people say jogging, which is no indication of, down a residential street.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. That's basically everything that I disagree with. The rest of the stuff that he goes on is just more of his opinion and stuff like that. So we already pointed out the things that we disagree with and the mistakes that he made. So unless he can provide some documentation to say like, oh, this is where I got Gregory McMichael made the first 911 call, because when you look on his video down in the description, he doesn't have any sources linked or anything like that. So no one can go and check, even though he's encouraging people to do their own research. You think with someone that was saying that they only are bringing the facts and they want people to do their own research would at least have a couple links to things more than just their merchandise. All right, guys, so thanks for watching. Those are the things that I agree with and the things that I disagree with. Come right back here, like, subscribe, and share for more content like this, where we go over information and misinformation related to things like COVID-19, the Ahmaud Arbery case, anything that is news, politics, philosophy, that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching. This is Inspiring Inquiry.